All right. Welcome, everybody. Right? They're like, what's going on? We are live. The Loisaida Center. The Nuyorican Poets Cafe is also live, so you are live tonight, y'all. So if you see, we have a screen here on the side, and so I'll give you guys more instructions as we go along. But welcome to Women's Orator Wednesdays, y'all. We are back. We took a break, and we are so grateful to be back and to be celebrating. Can we give it up again for Latin Heritage Month? Woo! We are so excited. We have two. One of them, Michelle, couldn't make it tonight, but we have two amazing youth poets that have been like really advocating for the community, and just I'm a fan, and so we're all about making sure that we equip and highlight the next generation of writers and poets. So we're excited to have Scarlett Gomez and Emily Rose featuring today. And we are also excited to have you. We got a list, y'all. We got a list, right? And I know it's always a closet poet floating around. So I know it's like one or two of you in here. I'm going to find you before the night is up. I'm going to find you before the night is up. But we're going to have fun. I want to start off by thanking the Loisaida Center for having us and for hosting us, as well as the Nuyorican Poets Cafe staff. We got Jasmine holding it down at the door. Give it up for Jasmine. We got Ron holding it down on our tech, right? And my name is Felicia, a.k.a. Rise Felicia, and I'll be your host for the evening. Yes. Not bye, Felicia, but Rise Felicia. And we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun, y'all. Don't worry about the llamas. I don't even know if that's llamas or not. I don't know what that is. But just we wait for the Nuyorican sign. Right? It's like, I feel like you really get to know people now when you see what's on their computer screen. It used to be the email, right? Like, what's your AOL? What's your email? It would really tell you, who are you really? You know, and you see your friend like, oh, hotmama89@gmail.com. Oh, okay, hi, mama. Right? Those laughing know they had a spicy Gmail. She said, not at all. What are you talking about? So we got a full house tonight. I'm excited. We're gonna get through the list. Poets, you know how we do. You got 3 minutes to do your thing. This is an all women's night though. We do let the fellas go, but you gotta go all the way at the end because it's ladies first and it's ladies night. Right? Give it up for the ladies. Give it up for yourselves, right? And Women Orators Wednesdays was curated by La Bruja. Can we give it up one time for La Bruja, who is also the executive director of the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, and really created this event to highlight women's voices. So I'm grateful to be here and to be holding down that spot. And we're going to have some fun. We're going to go ahead and get started, okay? Make sure the audience, make sure we give feedback. You know, it feels good to be poets. It takes a lot of strength to get up here. And it's all levels up here. Folks that have been doing this thing for 10 years and folks that it's their first time. So I just ask that you give some love. And I promise you, all the love that you give out, you give back. Okay? All right. So with that being said, we're going to get started. We're going to give it up one time for Nalia Clark. Did I say it right? Huh? Nalia. Give it up one time for Nalia.
The language of my ancestors, sweet whisper of my mother tongue, skin blessed by the sun, they walked so that I could run. Children of the earth, born of the soil, we were once royal. There were once, blankets of coils covering crowns. There were once black faces all around, imagining what would have happened had we had never been found. Black, bold, beautiful brown, sitting on the block dipped in gold-turned vow. Inflation is wild. From the start, we were more than property value. But now none of us could spell mortgage even if we tried to. And when the blame can no longer be traced back to the white man's name, as if we can't use our tools to get ahead in the game. And please, don't take my words in vain. Because yes, black is beautiful, but we all know black is pain. And it is captured in all the unconventional ways, in all the unconventional frames. Being black means expansive terrain, means seeing all of you in the planet's face, and most of all, black means space. It means to walk into a room never leaving without a trace, and black has no true name, no collective color or shape, all consuming. And the future's alluding to the end of the white man's reign, when black reflects the planet's face. Regards, Nalia.
Nalia. Powerful start. Yeah. Is this your first time? Is this your first time? Second time. Second time. Let's go. Come on. All right. We're going to keep it going, y'all. Give it up one time for Angel. Angel.
So hi. I'll just be reading a chapter from this novel that I've been writing, and the novel is called The Enlightenment, but my chapter is called 2012. So, it was the year where the heat of sorrow abducted the simple breeze of joy, and our sanity fell into the depths of agony. Despair seemed to rise like the tides of a soulful night, wrapped under the mystery of the next empty morning. The nights were sentenced with a temporary demand, coming in every and of what it felt like an eternity of a day. Night in the summer came enveloped by the beauty of light, fading into seductive, vulnerable darkness. The sunset always seemed to bring peace upon its differences. Its moment like the night in which I desire to be loved like the moon loves the sun, and how the sun loves the moon. A love so distanced by forces of the universe, awaiting to me by a miraculous cycle, longing for years for his love, for then to be dispatched by the many years which I wait to await upon their future. It was darkness that brought the deep memories in my head, yet it will be the morning that awakens my regret. On this warm night, the trees make love to the movement of the breeze, the cars give music to the streets, loneliness captivates the light in the stars, and the moon captures the darkness in the roads. As I walk down the blocks of East Harlem, the night appears to be filled with the spirits of every person under its presence. The crowd builds its heavy rush as every person gathers in a slow pace in front of my fast walk. Walking faster to the train station, accumulating pressure and getting home. The crowd of people feels like a cornfield, crowded in leaves, crowded in corn, crowded in the space of this growing meal that has never been eaten. The train station looks at my empty shadow that walks in the bright yellow lights of the enlightened streets of commercial stores like KFC, and the anticipation is born in the inside of my head. My pace grows faster, pressure blooms into streams of stress, and I, with sadness resting upon my eyes, looking at the hill in which the station sits with ease, as people cross with my view of the path, I begin to grow the hesitation, an alarming feeling of heat saturating the layers of my body and mind. The grip of my fingers tighten against the book in my left hand, clinging onto the reality of its texture, acknowledging its presence of existence. I distract myself, detach my consciousness from the heavy crowd of people walking against the hot, cooling breeze. I ignore the present in hopes to reappear in the future, a future in which I land home, in which I get on the train, in hopes to erase the feeling of these hands grabbing against my chest, desiring to manipulate my brain, forgetting the feeling of his sex packing through my thighs. As he sat down on his body, I'm filled with an agonizing desire to cry, to lose the parts of myself he has now gained, to cry in the pits of my darkness, and empty my heart like an empty river, to drain the life out of my body that no longer is mine and penetrated with death. But what grows seems to fall with grace, and rising of whatever feels heavy begins to feel empty of meaning. I look at the station sign, 103rd Street Station for the 6th train. I look at it with fear, a clueless fear waiting to steal it, confidence from the back of my empty mind, yet confidence has been replaced by the lies of a lost child, waiting to find its way back to happiness. That child is me. Before I walk down the rusting train stations, I'm a 14-year-old boy wearing blue jeans and a sage tank top with coiled hair, far from grown, but yet, somehow, in the eyes of my own, I feel like a child, and yet in the eyes of the other, I am just grown. In my left hand, there's this poetry collection of Adrian Rich from 1950 to 74. In that, a book which has been delivered wisdom unto my eyes, like an ocean bursts live. It has now become a book in which wraps its pages against the tears that will fall within the depth of knowledge. I have a pair of white Jordans that will walk me against the streets that will probably walk me home and shed me to tears. Shoes that are just not my size, shoes that I've run out of, and shoes that I will never walk against. But now that I walk these steps down the station, which is now to deliver my body, and yet not my soul, I become nothing, simply nothing. The existence of my body drowns in collisions with the rest of people in the train station. Whatever I was has been demolished into nothing. Whatever I felt was contained and compromised to the atmosphere. I look around and I feel myself spinning in aching blindness. I find questions and confusions at the edge of my sanity. I look at the time of arrival for the trains. I look at it with no purpose of gaining knowledge of its information. I look at it with desire to look at something opposite, to feel something different. I wish to empty the stomach and yet fill me with hunger for the entertainment or just because I'm bored. But I feel it. I feel hungry to just not feel anything, to be empty, to be thirsty for water like a man in the street, to feel homeless, to feel something. For me, I feel numb, like a pair of cockroaches in the street that we look at and are fear of. I feel nothing, and yet it fills me with water and tears. As I step down, in this empty, agonizing moment, I feel the hands of despair, and I feel my eyes, but then the train arrives and I truly just feel nothing. Thank you.
Keep it going for Angel, y'all. All right, you guys. We're going to keep it going. Okay, you guys. And I'll be on the side with the timer, okay? So I'll give you a little when you hit about 3 minutes, okay? All right, so keep it going for Sheila. Sheila in the house. Sheila. Yes. Oh, Sheila.
Hi, guys. This is Ramsey. So Sheila and Ramsey. So this is some new shit for y'all, and thank you. I haven't quite memorized it, so if I pause, just bear with me, okay? When the child becomes the monster that raised him, what do you do then? Looking back now, I should have seen the signs. Lying is hereditary. For all your talk of not wanting to become your father, surely you could have done better. You must cover all the mirrors in your room. I bet you mistake your reflection for his, and it must kill you to know that your best was not enough, to know that you will forever be trapped in this body. You must equally feel relieved, though. Your secret is out. No need to keep the closet doors closed on the broken skeletons of your past when there are already walking ghosts in your present, parading around, pretending to give a shit about people and sucking the souls out of anyone who ever got close enough to try and help. I try to have compassion. You were just a kid, dealt a poor hand, but you played your cards right into the fire and buried me in the ashes, so there will be another time for compassion. Right now, I am dealing with what is left of us, which isn't much. Two halves do not, in fact, make a whole. They devour each other alive until only the smallest remains standing. Congratulations, my love. How does it feel to have 2 feet on the ground? It turns out I've been watering the flowers at the gravestone of our love affair with blood from my own veins, and you were content to watch me bleed out. How does it feel to know that the blood that once ran true blue for you is now stained black over every memory? You did not deserve the kindness I gave you, but I would give it to you again, and I'm giving it to you now by writing these words on paper you will never see. I left out your darkest parts because I would never say them out loud. You're welcome. For that final act of generosity, do not expect another. When you lay your head down at night and wrap your arms around the demons you so vehemently tried to smother, I hope they all look like me. I hope you are consumed with grief at the understanding of my absence in every happy moment that precedes us. And when you can't recall the shape of my face, I hope all you can see is the broken arms at my sides, and you will know that you did this to me. You have ruined every idea of what love is for me. So you might not be your father, but you are some wretched beast in between. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, Sheila. I'm like, we gotta find that song now. That was powerful. I left your darkest parts out. You're welcome. Right? And when the poet leaves the darkest parts out, you are loved, baby, okay? Because we will drag that. Give it up one more time for Sheila, y'all. All right, y'all. Coming up next is personal favorite, if I may say so myself. No stranger to Women Orators Wednesday. Please give it up, you guys, for Shirley.
I thought I was at the bottom of the list, but okay. So I write in Spanish. I've been experimenting a little bit with language because sometimes people don't understand. So this time I'm going to read something that I wrote in Spanish in English first, and then I'm going to read it in Spanish. Or maybe I'm going to read it in Spanish first because that comes out first. Okay. Tengo 8 años. Me acuesto en un catre militar, destinado a ser temporal. Pero siempre era mi cama. Una manta rala me cubre, pero no da calor. Miro a través de los huecos en las paredes, por donde entra el frío. Veo los demonios fuera de mi ventana, mientras espero a mi madre venir a darme un beso de buenas noches. Ella nunca viene. La escucho hablando con mi hermana sobre sus problemas. Mi anhelo no es suficiente para que venga mi madre, a besarme y decirme buenas noches. Ella nunca viene. ¿No es suficiente que quiero morir? Creo que tal vez no soy suficientemente humana para ser amada. Así que espero la nave espacial para venir a recogerme de este planeta donde no pertenezco. Ella nunca viene. Me pregunto, ¿qué es lo que me necesitaría para ser amada? Para no ser demasiado, para ser cuidada. Me acuesto en el catre y espero. Ella nunca viene. Eventualmente lloro hasta quedarme dormida. So here it is in English. I'm 8 years old. I lay on an army cot, meant to be temporary, but it's my bed. A thin comforter covers me, but doesn't give warmth. I peer through the holes in the walls where the cold enters. I see demons outside my window as I wait for my mother to kiss me goodnight. She never comes. I hear my mother listening to my sister divulge her problems. My longing for affection is not enough for my mother to kiss me goodnight. She never comes. It's not enough that I want to die. I think maybe I am not human enough to be loved. So I wait for the spaceship to come and pick me up from this planet where I don't belong. They never come. I wonder what it would take to be loved, to not be too much, to be cared for. I lay on my cot and wait. She never comes. Eventually, I cry myself to sleep.
Very powerful. Can we keep it going for Shirley, y'all? So powerful. So I am going in a bit of random order, so you don't know when you might go. I might just say your name. And you be like, oh, yes, oh, you. How are you feeling? Y'all doing all right? Yeah. Y'all out on a Wednesday night. Listen. We're going to get you home in time. Don't worry. I know you New Yorkers and your work schedules. Okay, so coming up next, y'all, can we give it up one time for Francesca? Francesca? Francesca still here? Yes? No? No? Oh, yes. Oh, you signed up on open mic list. You got a poem? Okay. Okay. Boom. Word. Thank you, Francesca. Snaps. Poetry is from the heart. And tell me that ain't the truth. Period. Okay? Okay, well, in that case, Luciana. Luciana? Yeah! Keep it going for Luciana, y'all! All the way till she gets to the stage!
I guess I'll be representing the forgotten Latins, the Brazilians. I speak 3 languages. The first is Portuguese, with the R's pronounced deep in the back of the throat, something like a Romance language rich in beauty and vast vocabulary. Its structure, greed, amaze. Its dominance for those who truly master this book. The second is English, a pragmatic language, playful yet direct. Everyone and anyone can speak it, but not that it's easy, for it is not. But it can be diluted for and by the deluded, who believe by birthright they have mastered it. The third, my most beloved and beautiful, poetry. But it's not for the faint of heart, I kid you not. It has a complex, it is complex, and few can speak it or write it, let alone read it, and most cannot understand it. I speak, read, and write in Portuguese and English, and somewhere in between, a meeting of the mind occurs, where on most occasions it's easy. I code, you decode, you code, I decode, and we are done. Communication happens. But poetry is a lonely language. I write it, I speak it, and I can read it. All the lines around and between them. It requires vulnerability, an open mind and heart, and to catch its nuances, to peel the layers. But most don't have the time to spare. For the writer, breaking through the fourth wall, it's like finding north without a compass, like an ancient art, a science from the days we traveled by constellations. A captain without a ship, providing a map, connecting letters like stars, hoping to lead voyagers through the murky waters of metaphors and symbolism, at a times, a little altercation with alliteration, to find a place where all the veins meet the port. To rest assured the message on paper, but not in the bottle, arrived safely. But not everyone can solve the riddle or reach the shore. No, poetry, it is not for the faint of heart. I code, who decodes? Is there anyone out there? Is there? Is there anyone out there?
Poetry is a lonely language. Ooh, come on, Luciana. Poetry is a lonely language. Aren't we all a reach in the dark? Ooh, that was powerful. Give it up one more time, y'all, for Luciana. That was powerful. All right, y'all, we're going to keep it going. I'm going to try and say this name right, okay? Mania? Manesia. Period. Period. Give it up, y'all, for Manesia. Manesia.
Peace, everybody. All right. Okay. Usually, I feel like I love you. The rest of the time, I'm experiencing you in the present. capturing moments that I'll replay in my heart later. Remembering the flutters you trigger as you change my chemistry with a glance and alchemize eternity in my soul. That's how the time goes. Repainting up close moments of us sitting sweetly in the peace of each other. We do our best to be our best, and it shows. It's in the way we heal together. Trauma shrinking because we're not triggering a spiritual response. We gently build each other, valuing every breath, echoing softness and sanctity, offering bits of forever in monumental ways. Thoughtful gestures colored with I don't have tos, but I want tos. Open advice welcome without judgment or shame, just love, bare in our skin, knowing where to find our truth. It's an everlasting kind of thing. Your voice beckons butterflies. It resonates with my womb and hugs my intuition, assuring me that we are destiny, giving me lessons in healthy love, that it is patient and persistent, kind and compassionate, secure and sacred. Divinely orchestrated and explained, we are dancing stardust, my love, stirring up our deepest desires, making dreams come true. You are the one for me, and I for you. Convinced our auras met before we did, a connection created in the cosmos, heavenly sent to this realm and sealed with the promise of a timely union. Orbiting each other's essence until our hearts got the message. Received, my mirrored flame, there you are. Reflected back to me, we are double meant. Contracted in the stars and we connected on earth. Now we did it. We did it. Now we're here, back in space, together. Thank you.
Thank you. Keep it going, Phoenicia, y'all. Yes. It's a good night, y'all. Y'all all right? Okay. Well, coming up next, we got one more poet, and then we're going to get into some of our featured acts for the night. But before that, keep it going, y'all, for Tandri. Yeah. So make sure you guys stay close to the mic so that we can hear you.
Hi, everyone. This is going to be short and sweet. Okay. I've been looking for love. I hope it finds me. I hope it says it's been waiting to hold me. I've been looking for love. I've searched all over, outside and inside. I've been searching for forever, on a plane to Neverland, chasing sunsets all the way to heaven, hoping that the fields are free of debris and that living water always flows within me.
That was beautiful. I was trying to read the sign language. I can't. I'm in the light. Y'all in the dark back there. I'm in the light. I can't see. All right. Oh, yes. Fellas go last. Fellas go last. Because it's women's night. Okay? It's Women Orators Wednesdays. It's all about us. But isn't it always all about us? Fellas, don't answer that. Don't answer that. Fellas, don't answer that. They're like, keep a straight face. What was your face saying? I don't want to get nobody in trouble. Okay, you guys, so I'm so excited. We're about to get into our first featured act, you guys. I'm going to read the bio. Scarlett Gomez is a queer Dominican Bronx-based poet, writer, zine maker, and founder of Poetry House. She is the recipient of the Esther Unger Poetry Prize and has had several short stories and poems published in literary journals such as Philadelphia Stories, the A3 Review, and Writers HQ. You can find out more about her work, scarlettgomez.com and at Loose Tooth Poetry. But y'all, give it a warm welcome to our first feature of the night. One of the youth voices of tomorrow, Scarlett Gomez!
Thank you. Hi. Can everybody hear me okay? Okay, cool. It's so embarrassing hearing about myself in third person. All right. Do we have any Dominicans here tonight? What's up? Depending on what kind of Dominican you are, this may upset you. All right. Dominican elites bury blackness like masking stenches with coffee grounds. They do not speak of it until it one day gurgles from the stovetop, pouring into white china a backwash of bitterness that unfolds the dark history our books work so hard to whiten. Like I cannot smell the burning birth certificates on the bright colored bathing suits. Like they have not used black bodies for compost or have diced tongues over parsley. When I say I'm Dominican, I don't mean that I'm yours. You think I'm the humor type of you Dominican. Canela y habichuela con dolce y gabbana, hot plátano couture dipped in chocolate fruit. But my movement sprouts coffee beans and sugarcane on an island of uprooted palm trees. I am the rope between the hungry dog and the resort buffet, between la sirena y el cachón. Mixed memories of waxy skin and weeping bananas, footsteps like a rainstorm on a tin roof, leaking skeletons all over your dry floors. Flor de oro who dances merengue over hurricanes, comforting you with poetry como cucharadas de jarabe. What sort of Dominican would I be if I only gave you its diluted history? Meet me by the river moon, where we are meant to dream together, where I remember your blood as I remember your breaths. This next one is called The Gay Immigrant Girls. The gay immigrant girls are diving into Carlos papaya, peeling grapefruit in the mornings, rubbing sugar into their wounds instead of salt. Two girls who don't hold hands in parks because they won't define maricona in front of fathers who only know how to give their daughters something to cry about. Braiding flowers with ribbons into their hair, fluttering Jamaica with their fingers before folding dough in humid kitchens. Two girls who use tattoos instead of wedding rings. A promise that cannot be twisted off in the airport, at the bar, at the dinner with a friend who is not a friend. This love has always been about how well we slept. Dreaming of you next to me in the church pew, at the bus stop, waiting for the movie to start to kiss. Ignoring the smile on our mother's faces when we are asked to spin. To shake the rosary beads yoked to our wrists and dizzy ourselves out of confusion until we are daughters who do not dream of other daughters. Daughters who only dance with church boys. Thank you. Okay. All right. Thanks. So I was told we have time for 3, so this is my last one. This is called Closeted. What is more needed than the kneading of our bodies? A string of silence flossing spasms from the sermon we have made the Sunday service. How you have taken my body like it is bread and still leave basketfuls of the fragments that are left heaving. Spirits furloughed in the after of our communion. I wonder, waiting for you to return from the water that has come on in the restroom. Why must we wait for the moon to call us to each other? When the rats retreat from the rumbles of the underground, the roaches return from the rut burrowed in the walls, the drunk dribbles from the now distant pain of his own dissatisfactions. I want to be anywhere but the shade. How can I worship you in the dark like you are meant to be? You are blind to the flowers you have grown in my eyes. Violets, lavenders, roses. I cannot see your brown skin glow in royal blue, in watermelon red, in orchids, pink opal, in emeralds, jades, malachites. A cloudburst right from the glacier. I cannot see you curl towards me, speared in the cupidity sketched in the disordered sheets. And the way your lashes brush over the top of your cheeks, I can only feel you, turning away when you have come to. And my throat, when you have finished tailoring the stray hairs, the tightness that has dried over your chin, have strained all the water you have plundered of me. And you return fully dressed, warning me that I must go. Chokes. Thank you. Another one. Holy shit. Okay. Oh my god. What are y'all want? I was ready. Okay, one second. I'm scrolling. Okay. Yeah, I was like, I had to wear this today. Okay. So This is so funny. This is going to be on YouTube. I'm going to out myself right now. But I wrote this poem after having a negative experience meeting, like, a partner's family. And it's called Whose Daughter Am I? Whose daughter am I? I have not always felt like I belong to my birth, my blood, a beginning breached for the desperate ancestral desire to breathe. The skin suit settled strange on me, and has for too many birthdays. Had the world one day met without me and decided that I could not be worthy of bettering for, there had been no one who did not coerce a fight from me. So I had prepared myself for the beer-soaked breath, for the sour diesel smog, to smother the things we do not have the stomach to say sober. In the final breaths of our booming voices, I still could not win. I am not beautiful enough. I am not calm enough. I am not understanding enough. I am not smart enough. I am not worthy enough. So I ask again, when you had walked into what I have built in all the time you did not have for me, and you saw the warmth I had waxed on the walls to welcome you with, the photos I hung so you can imagine the laughter of our stories, and you kept silent when your son says he does not wish to have a child like the ones who have made the home you have been invited into. Whose daughter am I? Clearly, I am not enough to be yours. Thank you. I guess I'll do one more. I'm gonna take my glasses off because, I have this, my glasses are a little too big for my face, and I don't do the thing that you're supposed to do and go get them fixed. And so I know I'm gonna look back on this video and be like, fucking putting my glasses up the entire time. Okay. Yeah. All right. I guess this could be the last one. All right. This is called What Is Left. Papa holds the headless hen by her feet. He keeps her bones, then offers her blood to the grass before giving her body, a currency that has tended to his stomach and his future, to Mama, praying it will do the same, according for an olive covenant, for a love that clears the skies. Though the birds wait choose on the soft pad of her palm, dead and robbed of its own grief, Mama has been taught by her mother to fix the hen into caldo criollo, a remedy that connects me to a place I do not visit. The smell of this soup over the stove soothes pockets of homes from threads of smoke. It had been in those moments I remembered the heat of a house that had not been finished, how rough its unsanded walls felt on my fingers, how my imagination scurried furnishings from the dust-coated, the printed maze on each tip. The excitement of a place that would be ours even if you are not here. And you are not. One morning, I heard my mother filling her cup with tears. Papa was dying in another country and we could not go. There is no offering we can make to say goodbye. Hens do not pay for cancer. Hands cannot transform tumors into antidotes. The plight of poverty means we can only offer prayers, that God would impart some favor, and instead of seeing you in a dream, I might see you alive, but my plight is not God's. Mama lives alone now. My mother rides the bus to Mott Haven on weekends to feed her. Pollo guisado, locrio, spaghetti, arroz, habichuelas, guandules, berenjena. She is still disappearing, eyes closed on a rocking chair facing a fan and surrounded by plants. I search for her in stories she won't share with me. A note of sounds only she has heard and will not decipher. I ask her if she wants to go back, to be with his body, in the house he had made for her. She shrugs, reveals her palm to show only where the lines stop. There is my answer, and there is my mother with a bowl of caldo. Thank you. Like Felicia said earlier, you can find me on Loose Tooth Poetry on Instagram. The Loose is Loose, and then Tooth Poetry. And I am trying to find a new space to host open mics. I host in the Bronx. Like, if anyone's from the Bronx, please, let's show up. And I also do zines, so I like to publish people from uptown. So if anyone is looking to be part of like a really cool project, we already have one that's published, and the second theme is on spirits. The deadline is October, what? 10th or 15th. It's coming up. So please follow, please submit, please be part of this really cool thing. I want to really highlight Bronx poets, Bronx writers in general, artists. And yeah, I'll be back there. Nice seeing you. Thank you. Bye.
That was amazing. Loose Tooth Poetry, y'all. Keep up with Scarlett. We're so grateful to have you here. And coming up next, we have our second feature, y'all. Listen, let me pull up the bio. Should I pull up the bio, or can I just talk freely? Talk freely. So Emily is not only an amazing poet, but such an amazing human being. She's been a part of the workshop in Harlem, Langston's Parlor, and just getting a chance to witness her go through a season and write everything. Like the relationship she has with poetry is so intimate and vulnerable. And it's the relationship that all poets need to have with their work. And she allows life to show up in her poetry, and she shows up fully present in her work and in her words. And it's really an honor to listen to her, to watch her journey. And like I'm genuinely inspired by her. And her heart is close to her work, and you guys get to experience that and these poems with her. And so I'm so grateful for you, Emily, and the work that you're doing and the work that you create, and how you remind us all to make sure that our heart is close to our art. So please, you guys, give a warm, warm welcome to Emily Rose!
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Yeah? Okay. Hello, hello. Wow, Felicia's she's gonna make me cry before I come up. Thank you all for being here. I performed first for the Nuyo at a woman orator, so it just was like, it was a coming to like, wow, I'm here moment to be asked to feature on this night. And I was moving my apartment, so I was almost like, nah, but here we are, yes. And I'm gonna start off with some new shit. Thank you. You see me smile, and you know it's warm. My hope lilts to the positive sides and makes convoluted spins on how it could be worse, but it isn't. It drips from my mouth and my pores, my jokes roll off my eyes and expressions. My perceived joy radiates through the whole room. My light shines upon you all to reveal the best version of you. No one sees you as more capable than me. I know all your dreams are already yours. Looking inwardly, the light is never flattering. I feel approachable in ways I don't want to be, and unapproachable in ways I wish I was. I realize that to love me is to love the grief. My self-love makes me feel trapped, and as I hear the door snap shut, I see my reflection, and I'm face to face with the warden, the villain, and the victim. Facing off in a Spider-Man pointed finger cycles of self-sabotage. How can I create what I feel I have no control of? I'm simultaneously trapped inside the box while one pokes holes and the other takes turn between plugging them up or pouring in the water. Drown in my responsibility, needing everything to be perfect. Do you know how frustrating it is to be fine enough that no one thinks you need help? I'm the first to hang myself with the extra rope I was given, which is to say, some people should have worried about me instead of relying on my ability to float. Always too tense for that and treading, and I'm getting tired. Just because I play nice with others doesn't mean I'm fine. I've just never had an issue with thinking of others as radiant and divine, and I reflect all the shadows and darkness back inside. We're getting to the end of this book, so It's falling apart, but we're here. My contradiction is aplenty. I almost would say all of me is the problem. Or not the problem, but most definitely not the solution. How am I able to take the most tense situation and make myself okay, throw my cognitive dissonance into hyperdrive, when I write the me is all woe, but talking to me in an everyday capacity wouldn't show the same sad bitch you just met in that last poem I just read. Or maybe the contradiction is my art, or lack thereof. Wannabe poet, wannabe filmmaker that stopped picking up the camera because she's too busy flying through her wants to relearn light and shutter speeds. I just can't capture myself anymore. So this one is inspired by when we are at Langston's Parlor, we have these moments where people just say things and it's like, oh, that's a fucking poem, like in itself. And Divine Styles, who's also a book dealer in Harlem, he's so dope. One time I was just like talking to him like in front of his pop-up shop, and I started to say something about the city, and he was like, write that poem, just write that poem. And I really love that sentiment. So I started it, but I definitely have more to add. The poem I want to write ends with the means changing everything in NYC. Already so beautiful and sweetly concrete. Now can you imagine for a second that it would all be covered by green? Every building, bus, and bridge, and even street lamp covered in flowers or greenery. All the rooftop gardens traveling the city, making things more jungle than concrete. We can swing from vines to take in every Harlem mural from a different view, like a hipster Tarzan. The amount of rain we would get to keep those plants watered, and anyone could grab the greens they need for their next meal. I want the city to be well fed, and even more to just breathe. Thank you. Last one. Okay, so this last one. Some only had 7 seconds before they got dangerous, or 7 seconds to try and predict what might happen. 7 seconds to decide trick or pig, known or unknown danger, only 7 seconds to get in their last car. This poem is for all who walked the stroll. And I'm not talking the Divine Nine, though I guarantee they were divine in my mind. Another level of true royalty queens. They didn't step, but they knew how to stomp that ballroom and walk that walk and work like that 9 to 5 you don't dread because you knew when they arrived. And honey, I'm talking the stroll of 14th Street. The same people who lived it can walk the identical path of cross streets and feel homesick for a place they are standing in is a sign enough to know that this place looks worlds different than it did then. It was not called the High Line, although they got high off lines and in all other ways before gentrification shook its decrepit fist at the presence, uproot and displace the community of queers that was there before Samantha from Sex and the City moved in to have sex that no one seemed to be quite as concerned about. The meatpacking district now empty of the other kinds of meat people brought packing. I'm also talking the undercover pigs that seem to play along so well and take interactions way further than necessary, while they played the trick of making a trick of themselves, trying to trick themselves into thinking the only one they tricked, was the queen they arrested, and not their own sexuality. The raids of self-hate can never deny this block had house, I'm talking music, and home, because it was home to queers of all kinds, the ones that didn't have a dime, but they'd either keep you from or make you feel like one with a reed, and not always full of the drag that will leave you with no edges, but plenty more than you've seen on Drag Race. The place where you knew sex work was real work, and that's how some of the girlies got paid. So in their honor, we remember those that are here and those that never left the block. We remember those that had 7 minutes of time to be glorious at the ball. That was their eternal life. 7 hours of time a day to put together the look and deliver elegance and beauty, 7 days to count down to the next time that they could be there to serve. Thank you. Thank you so much. So my name is Emily, and you can definitely find me every Saturday at Langston's Parlor, hosted by Felicia. It's run in Langston Hughes' home. It's on Saturdays from 2 to 4, and it is one of the most illuminating and safe spaces to write and really connect in a way to your work that I just have adored. And most of my pieces have come from writing in that space. I also work for the Nuyorican, so I be around the Nuyorican spaces. But thank you so much. Thank you again. I guess, my Instagram, you can find me at Amethyst Rose. It's like amethyst, but it's EMITHYST Rose. Thank you.
Rose, your second feature of the night. Thank you so much, Emily. That was incredibly powerful and beautiful. We got some other Langston's Parlor family in the house that I'm going to call up before we get into the guys. Although we are coming towards the end of the show, I just want you guys to know that it's about to get hot up in here, okay? We got some fire poets. We got some fellas in the house. I see y'all. Y'all like, look, tell me when to go. Tell me when to go. Don't worry. I got you. Ladies first. Give it up one time for Courtney Simone, y'all. Yes, you. Yes, you can't come up in this space and not do a poem, Courtney. Listen, keep it going till you get to the stage, y'all.
Hello. I didn't know that I fully confirmed to perform, but I appreciate being here in front of y'all. Give me, I don't know, what I, okay. That's funny. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. I guess I'll do a new poem. Yeah. And I'll say I wrote this when in the midst of grieving a lot of police brutality and just holding the amount of names that we're forced to learn and remember and honor now because of people going on power trips and being on their bullshit. Now, what do we do with this name? How do we stop the rot in this ground? Do we let it burn fire on top of these buildings again? Demand revelation of these pigs again? Consider another body blackened in sacrifice again? Let it rest in silent moment, this name, and hashtag, let it untie our tongues and sound in these street screams again. Do we march and let it permanent mark on all of these cardboard signs again? Do we pray for a God who listens this time, who shows bad deeds get more than a desk job and a slap on the wrist again? No, you do not have to be black to recognize the pattern. No, you do not have to watch the video to know who pulled the trigger. You know who pulled the trigger. Tell me, who looks at a lamb and calls its wool a weapon? Who asks for your hands only to make your body martyr? Who picture perfects a crime scene and cries innocent at a judge's feet? You know how it's just like a pig to make a mess and lie in it. You know how hard it is to rebuke the devil when it wears a uniform on your doorstep. These bodies were not made to be struck by so many bullets, so we know when brown bleeds, when it should still be breathing. Do you know how hard it is to pray for peace when the police decides your fate as soon as they see your face? Do you know how godly you have to be to call on Jesus instead of revenge when death already powders a barrel? These bodies were not made to be treated like just bodies. These tongues were not made just to bury so much of our black. This melanin was not made to be a casket of names. You do not have to be black to understand. to see the mess that the system has made, to remember the names, and move. Do something.
Powerful. Wow. Keep it going, y'all, for Courtney Simone. Told y'all. Can we turn the mic down just a little bit? We can turn the mic down just a little bit. If you're up here, poets, and you hear kind of like a little bit of a return, I forget what they call that, a little feedback, just go ahead and back up just a little bit. We'll turn it down just a little bit. All right, y'all. How we feeling? That was powerful. We got more power coming. We're going to go ahead and open it up for the fellas. To start it off, we got one of the most powerful poets that I've witnessed in New York that has, their work speaks for itself. but definitely one of the most powerful poets in New York and of our generation. I'm a big fan, friend, and a poet. Hosts One Love, One Mic out in Harlem. Is also part of Lake's Parlor team and facilitates workshops. An incredible community leader. Give it up one time, y'all, for Donat de la Cruz. Keep it going until he gets to the stage.
Yo, true story. One Love, One Mic started because of this open mic and because I saw the way women communed around each other. And I thought, man, it would be nice to have this uptown. So I'm going to read something short. I think short. I've been wondering, were we the only bodies that learned to feast on flesh till we got to the bone? And how ravenous must love become before something grows? You see, I've only known sacrifice from the lips of broken things. Everything that had survived love had come and gone. And so my lips only know how to speak of you in measurements of distance, in portions. But how short-traveled become the prayers between God and I when I let the spaces in between my fingers reclaim what holds me. The darkness knows its purpose. Do not be fooled by the abyss. It is I that reaches as far and as deep as you allow. And so I saw how the light and shadow rejoiced upon your shape before the fire grew. Exhausted. Tell me, who fans a flame to only claim the ashes? To what end? Is not everything we know built from dust? Have we not all been pulled together from things broken and repurposed? Can we claim to be anything other than an amalgamation of time and prayer? A collision of songs fading into something as simple as distance. Call us stars, galaxies, anything but human. You see, I've long learned that longing is what the memory of love abandoned. So I caution he who feeds on the shadow of once upon a time true intentions and barren fields to harvest roots from spine and ligaments, peeling away at carnage, unripe and seedless, and dare call it fruit. Bitter be the things that leave us hungry. And too far and long ago remain the things undone and lonely. Is this not why the tree learned to let love leave the way it was born? Yet and still, God made these human things to synchronize, to fit. Because even in darkness, what need be sight to dwell where the spirit moves? So yes, beloved, I've only come to only find you in my prayers. Holy parchment and broken rib, you were not mistaken in knowing that our lips have gone to places that the cosmos watched us create. Now look at what we dared abandon. Thank you, guys. One love. Love you, Felicia.
Donat de la Cruz. Find him on Instagram at One Love Hustle. Told y'all the night wasn't over. Sior. Mike said, wait, hold on now. Wait now. Mike like, wait a minute. Richard or Sior? Sior? Sior in the house? All right, give it up for Sior!
Good evening, everybody. How you doing today? Good? Good? The name of this piece is I Am. It's about me. And basically, I wrote it because I was just thinking one day about how we all just have different stories. And they're very complex, but at the same time, we're all very simple. So I wrote this about me, but I hope that you guys can relate to the concepts. I am two singular words. First word, plátano. Second word, bacon, egg, and cheese. I am filled with nothing but lyrics like the noisy streets of Santo Domingo on a Saturday morning while my neighbor religiously cleans her house. But I can also feel empty like the silent streets of Bushwick on a Monday morning just after a funeral. I am the of my niggas from Brooklyn that I went to school with. But I am also the oye, guau, dime a ver que lo que toque fried chicken contigo, maní. Of los tigres from los minas that I learned to rap from. I am pain, I am love, I am joy. I am a new generation of centuries old Taino blood running through these veins. I am my mother's kindness and my father's temper. I am ingrained with years of suffering and happiness that was passed down to me through spiritual DNA not too long ago by Adam and Eve. So sometimes self-talk sounds similar to these two sentences. Peep this. I am a simple paradox. I'm not a moron. If anything, I'm more like a dumb, smart person that's addicted to Oxycontin. What I'm saying is that I'm basically the personification of an oxymoron that makes sense. A hyperbole with no exaggeration. I am figuratively speaking the definition of literally. I'm calm intensity. So in a way, it does kind of make sense to me how crazy this is, but it scares me sometimes how fearless I can be. I am the shot that you almost always certainly never take. I am the successful motivational speaker that struggles with depression and anxiety. At all times, I am complex. At all times, I am simple. I am too Dominican to fit in where I live. Kind of like a piece from a jigsaw puzzle that's had the edges burnt off with melanin. But then I'm also not Dominican enough to completely fit in with niggas that grew up in my mother's land, my motherland. I am success and failure, hip-hop and jazz, blues, bachata, bolero, merengue, salsa. I am the most hideous, most pleasing a cappella instrumental beat you've never heard. I am me. I am my ancestors and my descendants living in one body. I am you. I am your legacy. I am the crown that goes on a man that was just beheaded. Philosophy that hates sagacity. I'm an impersonal feeling, a first last kiss, a last first kiss, tears of joy and fake laughter. Thank you for your time and attention. I simply wrote this to explain how simple the complexities that make us all humans really are. I am. Thank you.
Keep it going for DR, y'all. And we're going to keep it going. Robert, you still in the house? Oh, Robert is still in the house. Keep it going for Robert.
I want to tell you all about the Rat NYC on October 15th and October 29th. I'll be there hosting some poetry reading stuff, but it's not going to be my poetry. It's not even necessarily going to be your poetry. It's going to be us reading old things. So Paradise Lost on October 15th by John Milton in 1667. He was blind when he wrote it. He had to tell his children, and they wrote it down. And then October 29th, it'll be The Rime of the Ancient Mariner by Coleridge and Leah the Brown Rosary by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Which is a ghost story about a nun, and it's in rhyming couplets, and it'll be a lot of fun. So, are there two people here that really like Shakespeare? Raise your hand, raise your hand. So I need one lady, yeah, a lady that likes Shakespeare. Come on up and read with me, yeah. And we got somebody in the back there that wants to come up? Yeah. Okay. So on the 18th, we'll be doing an adaptation of the movie Scream in Shakespearean verse. So we're going to read a scene from that for fun. You're going to play Casey, and you're going to play Ghostface, and I'll read the stage direction. So, yeah, one of you's going to have to hold it. Yeah, there you go. We'll cooperate. Okay. Title, Thou Wilt Scream. We hear like a scream. It's a dark night in Woodsboro. A phone rings.
Good evening.
Right there. This going to be too hard to read? All right. Is there a secondary Shakespeare? All right, a secondary reader of Shakespeare in here. Anybody? I love that the community is coming through. We're going to keep the oratory feminine. Okay. Casey and your ghost face on the phone.
Halloween. Salutations. Who art thou? What name dost thou await? What number is this? Methinks thy number's wrong. Art thou so sure? Blame thyself, farewell, thou questioner.
Casey hangs up the phone, but the phone rings again. She answers.
Good evening. Beg your mercy, I misdial, and yet redial to apologize. I grant thee absolute go thy way. Hesitate but a minute. Keep the line.
Put it over here because they're double-sided. Yeah, there you go.
If thou wilt hook me, trap me on the line, then call some by the minute hooker kind.
Oh, it's a pun about being a hooker. Okay. She hangs up, she lights the stove and puts some popcorn on, and her house has too many windows. The phone rings and she answers again.
Good evening. Why rebuff my tete-a-tete?
Well done, yeah.
Who yet perturbs my popping corn with calls? My name I'll trade for thine, thou usherette. I'll keep my moniker till I have died.
And then this is an aside to the audience. You can imagine Ghostface turns to the audience to say,
my name would never treat thee otherwise.
right.
An eerie VSH is set to play.
An eerie VHS.
An eerie VHS is set to play. A movie made to mortify? Indeed. Of all the chilling cinema you've seen, what freakish film has frightened you the most? Mayhaps that Michael Mayer's Massacre, the first of many sequels, Hallows Eve. I dream of Freddy Krueger's finger knives.
Well done, yeah.
Original Bravely. Ever since the Craven Captive Cats disappoint.
Yes.
This
is
point.
another pun about Wes Craven directed the first Nightmare on Elm Street, but he didn't direct the sequel. So anyway. Ghostface responds.
If thou shouldst dream of horrors in thy bed, hast thou a Johnny Depp to calm your head? Inquiring to court me? Say thy name. So do my conjure with it, nay for shame. What shame would follow christening thy frame? My frame? I mean thy voice. Thou.
Right there. Thou falsifies. And then Casey turns on the patio lights, but no one is there. Spooky.
So quick upon the court, and courting quick. Goodbye, Deseret. Thou shan't hang me up.
Casey hangs up the phone, but the phone rings again.
Who's there? I caution thee a second time.
Flip. Yeah.
What hunger hast thou? Conversation. Well, satiate conversely, I am done.
Casey hangs up, the phone rings again.
Attend me, canker sore. Nay, simple wench. I'll slice thy belly open like a fish.
The popcorn begins to pop.
Oh, how thy breathing shallows on the hook. Think not on 911, the constable in traveling would waste thy blood into that precious sweater knitted round thy neck. A football star's en route to thwart thee yet. My other half will cleave thy torso twain. This cleaver couldn't be a burly Steve. Illuminate the patio again.
Casey switches on the lights to see Steve or her boyfriend is duct taped to a chair, just like in Scream 4.
Release my trusted love, though twist churl.
Yeah, you're a twisted churl.
Churl.
Yeah, I don't remember what a churl is, but Shakespeare didn't like it. It's not something you want to be.
churlish.
Yeah.
If thou wilt answer trivia correct, thy swain's pectorals may remain adjoined. Who wielded the machete, slicing forth in the baker's dozen Friday film?
That's Friday the 13th.
Thor's Voorhees, hockey matched by Jason No.
Alas, farewell to Stevie's sternum bone.
Oh no.
I told it true, though ruthless.
'Twas Jason's mother swung the jungle blade. Thou art wrong. 'Twas Jason's mother that swung the jungle blade. Attempted drownings all the lad achieved.
A knife bursts through Steve's chest. Casey screams and cowers behind a blue screen TV. Remember, TVs used to go to blue screens a long time ago.
Riddle me this, milady. Bonus round. At which of thy two doors can I be found?
Oh, the smoke alarm beeps. Thank you both. I will read the ending. Thank you. So now I have the ghost of Maureen Prescott, Sydney's mother, who has been murdered before the plot begins. She gives a monologue to say, through popcorn smoke she flees a hunting knife. The peanut-eyed monstrosity prevails. In motion slowed with terror she is pierced. Her parents drive up talking of the lawn. Her larynx crushed. They cannot hear her cries. She pulls the mask, and blackness lies beneath. She phones the house. They listen to her breath. He drags her, disembowels her by the swing. She's hung up in a tree by Father Death. The Rat NYC. The Rat NYC on the 15th and the 18th. Look at the website. Thank you so much.
I think that's the first time that we've had a monologue at WOW. Yo, that was fucking amazing. Can we give it up again for Robert? Emily came up here. And I'm picking up Sis Day. That was amazing. That was entertaining, right? It is hard to sometimes keep me entertained during a monologue. I was invested. I'm like, wait, the knife went through the... What? What's going on next? Right? That was good. All right, y'all. We've reached the end of our night, but I have a poem. Let's hope my phone stays alive for this poem. It's a new poem. Kinda. Y'all haven't heard it. It's new shit. But I was thinking about this. You know how, I was in this situationship. It's just between us. Online, this is just between us. It's just between us. Meanwhile, it's live streaming. It's just between us. But I was wanting to write about. I had adapted this thing. I realized that when me and this partner would get into these kind of altercations, I'd be like, we are both just not listening to each other. So I said, in the future, I want us to hold hands when we talk. And I started thinking about it. No, really, right? It's crazy, right? But think about it. Have you ever seen anyone hold hands and argue at the same time? That's crazy. If you see someone holding hands and arguing at the same time, they need help. That's crazy. I've never seen that. Who? We'll talk about it after the show. This took me completely out of the poem. I'm like, what? No way. Yeah, F you. Okay. But it worked for us. And it grounded. At first it was just, I'm like, I think you need this. But I think we both need it. I think we both have drifted somewhere else. And it helped us to really ground ourselves in the fact that we actually do love and care about each other outside of the moment. When we have drifted apart, become strangers trying to communicate underwater, I stretch out my hands and reach for yours. Touch reminds us both how we got here, that there is enough truth under an argument to find stable ground, enough love to escape ego if one of us is brave enough to be seen. Communication is not always key. Sometimes words are a wall, a jigsaw puzzle with lost pieces. Sometimes the past is too loud to hear a lover up close. Sometimes our fears turn a pile of clothes into a monster, a cheap psychic making false predictions in the heat of our vulnerabilities. But when our hands meet, our fingertips fall tender, become white flag, and the war between us fades, shows itself to be a mask of all the wars that preceded us. And we come back to ourselves, to each other, grapple with the truth together, drowning under the surface, and we find new breath just before our lungs reach capacity. Love ain't for the faint of heart. It will kill you and resurrect you 1,000,000 times. You gotta be brave in this shit. Gotta be willing to weather a few deadly storms when you fucking with a rare fish. And sometimes the boat ain't equipped. Sometimes we cast big nets with weighted expectations, and God decides to overnight shift our account, overdraft to the exceedingly above what you could never ask or think. And now we gotta find a way to pull this blessing back to shore without losing its value. Love ain't easy, but the fight to keep what God has placed in our hands is better than the fight we fought to keep love out. And at least this time, we're not in it alone. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. And when our hands meet, you guys are absolutely beautiful and lovely. From the audience member to all the amazing poets that went up tonight, give it up for yourselves. Tonight was beautiful. I spy Mufasa in the audience, and I'm just gonna pick on you, Mufasa. He is such family of the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. He supports all of our events, and he's a sweet talker too. He always has something sweet for the ladies, you know. Mufasa, you got something sweet to leave the ladies with? A little sweet, come on up here, Mufasa. Give it up for Mufasa. Listen, he got the suit, the proof. Listen, tell him something, Mufasa.
Y'all can hear me, right? All right, how y'all doing tonight? All right, so I was writing a poem because, you know, we're still in National Hispanic Heritage Month. And I'm going to read for y'all what I wrote so far. It's called Growing Up Near Spanish Harlem. Growing up near Spanish Harlem, where jazz and merengue dance a serenade of sound with the sky as its dance floor. The smell of plátanos and zampolla de arroz leaks out project windows and attracts the stomachs of the stars. I remember one day I went inside my friend's house, and when they opened the door, the warm amalgamation of gazpacho fills my body. It covered my body and wrapped me in calm. All the pain of yesterday and the yester of today no longer wages war on my skin. Telemundo bombards my ear, and I see the twin brother Fernando being revealed as an unprecedented affair. Arroz amarillo, tortillas, and pollo are sighted on the stove. Abuela rushes us in and tells us to get comfortable. Selena plays in the corner. As if my body became Hispanic itself, I feel like I can speak the tongue. Love is seeped into every wall as it coexists with the prayers seeping through the ceiling. I am an outsider to their culture, but an insider to their hearts and house. That day will be the best day that I've ever lived or ever went to a Spanish house, because in that house, healing was normal. Thank you. All right, if you want to find me, my name is Mufasa Peterson, Petersen, and my sign-off is to embrace the broken pieces of you with bloodied hands and eyes full of tears, because stained glass and mosaics looks wonderful when it is kissed by the sunlight, thus becoming art. Thank you.
Keep going for Mufasa, y'all. I love that stained glass windows thing. Listen, you guys, this has been Women's Orator Wednesdays, and it has been amazing. if you are not already, pull out your phones. Please follow the Nuyorican Poets Cafe if you're not following the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. Please follow the Loisaida Center. And you can also follow me at Rise Felicia, not by Felicia, but Rise Felicia. I love y'all. Huh? Me? We have amazing things going on at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. Monday nights we have our slam. That is really an amazing space. And if you want to hear like good poetry, quality poetry, like you definitely want to step through anything going on at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, especially our Monday night slams. And that's at Bowery. We also have our ICP show coming up on the 23rd of this month at the International Center of Photography. So if you're into photography and poetry, it's where we collaborate. And it's one of the biggest nights. And it's really, really a great show. I host it. I'm not just saying it because I host it. But it really is cool. You get a chance also to see some of the new installations. And they have like phenomenal installations. And all that we ask is that you bring a picture, you bring a photo that inspires you, and the photo is blasted behind you, and you get to do your poem. It's a great evening. It's really, really dope. I also host a workshop every Saturday at the Langston Hughes House. Yes, that you have heard about. It is called Langston's Parlor, A Deeper Look, and it really is that. Right now we ventured into talking about the metaphysical aspects of poetry. And it really is a deeper dive. Anyone that has been in can tell you that it pushes you in a way where, poets will push ourselves. We can only push ourselves so much, you know what I mean? But we try our best to push you vulnerability-wise into a space within yourself that you may have not explored yet. That's the goal. And also to create community. When poets get together, something magical does happen. So if you're around Harlem on a Saturday at 2 o'clock, come check us out. Also, I turn 36 next Wednesday, y'all. Yeah. Any other Libras in the house? Any other Libras in the house? No. Hey, what day? Friday? When? Friday? Last Saturday. It was your birthday last Saturday. Any other Libras? It's just 2 of us? Oh. On the 10th of October? No way! October babies in the house. I'll be at Lips Cafe. I'll be doing a special 30-minute set along with some friends. Donat will be there. I have some other friends that are amazing that really inspire me. It's at Lips Cafe. It's free. It's at one of the dopest cafes in Brooklyn. It is in Brooklyn. Sorry, y'all. Anybody from Brooklyn in the house? All right, I got some Brooklyn in the house. Harlem folks? No Harlem? Queens? Manhattan? Okay. You scattered. Anybody from out of town? No? Okay. All right. Well, either way, make sure that you get home safely. It has been an honor to share and hold space with you this evening. Thank you so much. We will be back next month, every first Wednesday of the month, Women Orators Wednesdays. This is our first month back, and we plan on continuing to build and go stronger. Give it up one time for Ron. Am I forgetting anything? Chris and Paul in the control room, thank you so much, right? If you see that nice shiny window in the back, they hold it down. All the folks online watching us live, thank you so much for tuning in with us, rocking and rolling with us. Get home safely, but I do ask, right, kind of like they do in church, is that you meet somebody new before you leave. Connection, I never believe we're in the same space at the same time for no reason. So say hi to somebody that you don't know. Ask them a question you wouldn't normally ask a stranger before you go, and to get home safely. And that's it, y'all. Thank you. And you still have a little time to mingle as well. Paul's going to play us a little bit of tunes. So there we go. Feel free to. I don't know if you can twerk to that. You can't twerk to that, but you can definitely network to that. Thank you, guys.